Inequality in the global economy. This title more or less already summarizes very well what it is. A colleague of mine, when we created this field, he said, Gutmenschen field. Not going to tell you who it was. He's teaching in another field. And translated in English, I checked it, it means goody goody. So this is the goody goody field. It's about inequality, about the wrong kind of growth, too much growth, not enough growth, about unemployment, about polarization, about pollution. So really goody stuff. It's why we are economists, I would say. There are many lectures in this, but there are just there are 4 modules, and that's what counts for the Prüfungsamt. Module Foundation A, B, and C, and then the topics. Module and a seminar. And you have to take 2 of these lecture modules and a seminar. These 2 lecture modules, one of them must be from one of these foundations, ABC. The second one can either be another foundation course or a topics course. Now, all these courses really fit well into this field. That's why we didn't dare to take anyone out of it, so although there are many. None of them is really the perfect substitute to any other, so they're all complementary, and all pairwise combinations are possible. I will go through all these lectures that have been mentioned here. The first, I'm teaching this one, Growth, Inequality and Structural Change. Again, the title really says what I try to teach there. Another title would be the causes and the consequences of technical change, and more importantly also biased technical change. More daring, a more striking summary would be technical change. We look at technical change as the cause of everything, driving everything. In this course, at least, in reality, almost everything, I would say. You know from the Söller model, if you forgot, that's fine, we do it again, we start again with this, in this course, that technical change is the only possible explanation for the long-run growth which made all of us, or most of us, much richer than our ancestors were. But technical change, that's very important in this course, can also be biased. So you know this very famous, very big book from Piketty, Capital in the 21st Century, where he claims that the capital share is going to increase in the future. He doesn't say exactly when. Going to increase, that's a big problem. This will be a big problem for society if it is not already today. So we really understand the relation between capital share and labor share, and we also talk about what should we expect for the future. Will robots, so computers and robots, take over so that no work is left to do for humans? This is about inequality between capital or capital income and labor income, a form of structural change. And if this should be the case, that robots take over, is it a curse or is it blessing? We could have more leisure, as we already have for many centuries, so this would be a second issue, work and leisure. In the past, but also we will speculate about the future. And talking about inequality, it's not only inequality between capital and labor, maybe much more important is the issue of inequality between labor and labor, so different types of labor. It seems that in most countries the skill premium is increasing, has been increasing. Academics, most of at least the pay for economics is increasing faster than for more unskilled labor. Is this also due to technical change, or is it globalization? So why are the poor, white, unskilled workers in America so unhappy? Is it technical change, is it globalization? We look at many of these issues, and in each chapter So when I'm talking about approach, we will start with empirical facts. Empirical facts, they should be about the past. Nevertheless, the focus of this course is more with the present, and even we will speculate about the future. But always try to be in line with the status fact in every chapter from the past. So at the end of the lecture, and I say the focus will be also about the future, there will be a big part, and we have time on the affluent society, Überflussgesellschaft, also due to technical change. We will have many exercises, solve and discuss them. I will provide also some bedtime reading, like for instance this book from Piketty and many others, because these are all issues, automation, which are much discussed, also the not so formal literature. And it is a course which always tries to explain what we see with the simplest possible model, starting from the solar model, but nevertheless, I also give information and papers for more research-oriented students, or for people that want to write a master's thesis. The second course, it is taught by Michael Krause. He used to teach this in the winter term, but now, and he will be on leave next winter, but then starts again in summer 2019. So from now on, it will be not this summer, but summer in 1 year, starting 19, and it will always be in the summer. Macro labor. Actually, macro labor is an important and big field in economics, in particular in macroeconomics. It is a well-defined and clear field, and this is the course that you have to take if you want to have not only introduction but some in-depth also studying of this field. Of course, one of the big issues again is unemployment. So an important form of inequality. One of the most important issues maybe of macro next to growth, unemployment. Which is very central here, but this course not only focuses on unemployment, but it also looks at all other relevant labor market issues. And further, when you study the content, it will also provide you with the workhorse model, so the most important model, which is at the basis of most macro labor articles also in research, and this is the search and matching model, which we first learn here and then apply to unemployment and to many other questions. So inequality, again, between different types of workers, even if they are not unemployed, they are certainly not treated equally. They have different wages. It will in particular also look at the role a little bit of technical change, so there is some overlap, but not much, with the first course. And also globalization. Again, style aspects are to be explained here with the most popular models. And again, for people that want to write a master thesis, there is enough material here which can use as a starting point. So I just changed this slide. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes. So the Foundation C, there are, for the moment, there are 3 courses in this. And this course, Political Economy, will be taught only one more time. It is in this field. So it is started this summer, but that's the last time. And Matthias Messner, who is teaching this course, he will from then on teach the course of inequality from the winter semester, starting with this winter semester. So because they are in the same module, you cannot take both. And these 2 courses actually have a strong overlap, but anyway you cannot take both because it is in one module, Foundation C. Political economy, but what is this term? Well, it used when I started, not even when I started. I studied some time ago. This term actually meant economics. But nowadays, it is more the part of economics which is which deals with voting systems, a political process, but again with not as sociologists would do it, or political scientists, which we do have excellent ones here at our faculty. Now here, this is from a way that economics look at this issue. And the first part of this course introduces you to the theory of, here it says, collective choice of political economy. And the second part applies this to issues of inequality. So inequality is also important, and redistribution, which is also an important, so inequality again an important issue in this course, but it is more also about redistribution and how to redistribute and so on as the two previous courses. And then this course will be replaced by one which even fits better into this field. This is a course really on inequality. And there are three sections in this where not there may be some overlap, but three issues actually how we can classify the different chapters here. One is just ideas, so methodological issues, where a very important distinction is made explicit, namely inequality of outcomes versus inequality of economic opportunities. The Americans, for instance, they know that it is a country with a very unequal income distribution, but they all believe it doesn't matter because opportunities are very equally distributed. So these are two different types of inequality. Is it true? Well, it seems it's not really true. In this case, this belief, social mobility in America is much lower than in most European countries. Anyway, these are two different types of inequality. Is it that we decide, although we have the same opportunities, but we decide somebody to work not as much and therefore we will be poor? Or is it that we don't even have this decision to work as an educated worker with a strong skill premium if we accept to go through such a difficult study program as you want? So it's important, very important methodological issues that are first discussed here. Secondly, this course gives an overview of our positive aspects, so descriptive, positive in the sense of good, but in the sense of descriptive, what drives income and wealth inequality in reality? What are the causes for this empirically, and also explained with theoretical models. And then the opposite of positive is normative, of descriptive is normative. Of course, that is a question which is directly in our mind. If we see a lot of inequality, should we do something? Can we do something? Should we do something? So that's a normative question. What can the government do to reduce inequality, and what should it do? So this is all about inequality. There is also some overlap, of course, with growth. So one of the causes here of inequality in one country may be technical progress, another one can be migration, another one can be trade, and both have to do with globalization. Okay, so these are the two first courses, but they are not taught in the same summer. So if you now directly enter this field, you can take this one, and from then on you will have to choose this one. Inequality, and maybe this course, political economy, will sometimes be taught in the field of public economics, where it would also fit very well. And then there's another course, development economics, which until last year, maybe still this at the moment, this was a course in this topics module. Now, and it was in the topics module because it was given by a junior professor who wouldn't stay with us for very long. We knew it. So we didn't make a foundation course. But now this course is taught, or not now, from 19 to 20, so winter terms always, by a new colleague who is tenured and who really wants to teach this. for good, so for the next many years, Erik Hornung. And of course, development economics again has to do with almost all the things which we have in the title of this field. It is about growth. So why are some countries becoming rich and growing and others are not? So that's the first thing to understand, a very important macro question to understand when we talk about development, or well, it's called development economics, but actually we want to understand why we want to understand the lack of development also. So why are some countries growing and others are not? It has to do with growth. It is about inequality, obviously, because some countries grow, others don't, so there's a lot of inequality between countries. But as important as this cross-country comparison, it is an unfortunate fact that within poor countries there's lots of inequality. Even more than, for instance, here, in most poor countries. So it is an issue also within poor countries, inequality. And in the global economy, this was the last part of the field title, of course, it is always global economy if you compare different countries. And one very specific thing to say about this course, or which is worthwhile emphasizing, it is that it really joins things that you learn from micro, and econometrics. It uses macro when it is necessary to explain a certain issue. It uses micro if it is necessary, or microfinance, for instance, if it is necessary to understand borrowing constraints in poor countries when they seem to be important to explain poverty there. And it is also very much applied, so it is good if you remember when you go into this course what a regression analysis is, so that you can read journal articles there together with Erik Hornung. Yes?
Will there be a course of development economics in next coming midterm?
No.
No, it's already.
Yes. Okay. And so much about these foundation courses. There are 2 topics courses. Again, you can only choose one of them. I know there are too many interesting courses for one field. The first one, again, is taught by Erik Hornung. Erik Hornung, by the way, he is an economic historian who works as an applied microeconometrician, one could say. And this is the most important thing maybe to say about this course. So it's not a theory course, it is really a very empirical course, which empirically tries to understand the very long-run trends of growth in economic history. So this is compared, for instance, to the first course which I was describing. This is really about long-run growth. It's about long-run growth. If we look at these 2 bullet points here, explaining why we are richer today than we used to be in the past, so there's some overlap with growth. But also why, and not only for today, but also in the past, why some countries are rich and others are not. So there's some overlapping with this one question in developed economics. But there's only 1 or 2 weeks of overlap, so it doesn't matter at all. I think it will even enrich these courses if there's some overlap, but not too much. So there's a time dimension and a spatial dimension. And as I said, it's very concrete and has very concrete possible sources of growth. Geography of differences, of growth differences, institutions, democracy or not, and culture. And the approach, as it is emphasized here for a second time, is really based on quantitative empirical research. So if you want really to have a lecture which is even more, doing more application of what you learned in econometrics, and you all will have to go through a basic econometric course, and that should be sufficient for this, to take this course here. If you really want to apply what you learned in econometrics, that's a good course. And finally, there is another topics course, growth, energy, climate change. Again, of course, all of these are goody-goody topics to climate change. And here again, there is one particular thing which is worthwhile emphasizing. You can see it here with the first bullet point, which I should have printed in fat letters. Natural science foundations. Dietmar Lindenberger, who is teaching this course every winter term, actually he studied physics, and only later he started to do also economics. And I completely agree with him that it doesn't really make sense to look at, to study the economics of energy use and climate change without having some basic knowledge of the physics of these issues. If you know how electricity can run in any direction, so it's really completely different from any other thing that we may trade. So it's really good to understand it with climate change also. We have to know before we build models, at least we have to know some stylized way, how pollution accumulates over time and how it depreciates if we don't do anything. So this will be an important part also at the beginning of this course, and then you will start doing economics with it. Look at price formation of scarce energy resources, include energy into a simple growth model, which in standard growth theory is not done, and then also include climate into a simple growth model, which typically is also not part of growth theory, although it is very important. Okay, so this are all the courses that you can choose. You cannot choose all of them, I think you understood this. And there is a seminar which you have to choose. Now we committed ourselves to, I don't know whether that's formally also necessary, but actually that's what we do. We make sure that there is one seminar in this field in every term. Next term and always in the summer term I will be teaching, or you will do it with me, so I will coordinate, I should say, one seminar, and this will be a block seminar in September, so September 2018, which is still part of the summer term. So if you, for instance, want to take this Foundation A course, you can have, after you finish the exam of this course, you can take this seminar, which will also be about automation, computers, robots and things like this, and the effect of this on the wage distribution. It is a good fit with this particular first course there, but it's not necessary. You don't have to, you can do it without this course as well. So it is self-contained. And there, as in all the typical seminars, you will read papers, you will write a short, prepare a short presentation for this paper, you give a presentation, you should discuss, and also read other papers about, well, papers, when I say papers, I mean articles that we find important and relevant. Normally, in each winter term, Michael Krause has been also giving a seminar more on labor economics, but he is on leave next winter or summer, so he has more than enough teaching already next year, given that one term is on leave. So there will be a seminar in the winter term by Erik Hornung and Shekle, who is also an expert in development. So there will be certainly part of this seminar covering development issues, and possibly, depending on the articles that Hornung chooses, possibly also something on the long run determinant of growth.